Book a seat at the bar to join us for another episode of McAnally's Pubcast, a podcast exploring the fun and fantastical mind of Jim Butcher's The Dresden Files series. Hosts Tans and Jess and Maggie bring you another round of literary analysis on this immense, immersive, and colorful environment inhabited by Harry Dresden, the world's only licensed private investigator and professional wizard. Join an active and engaged community of new and die-hard dedicated fans focused on the fabulous themes, theories, characters, context, lore, and more. This is McAnally's Dresden Files Pubcast by Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.
Welcome to the McAnally's Pubcast, brought to you by Free Flow Rambling. This is episode 10.17, Duck Hunt, where we are covering the novel Death Masks. My name is Tanzan, and I'm joined by Maggie.
Hello, hello.
And Jess.
Quack, quack.
Thank you so much to our Patreon subscribers for your generous support. It's people like you who help us keep doing what we're doing. If you're not yet a Patreon subscriber, sign up today and get a fuck ton of bonus content, kick-ass merch, behind-the-scenes outtakes, and more. Sign up today at patreon.com/freeflowrambling.
Chapter 19. Harry and Susan arrive at the gala and scope out the venue. They sense the drop is about to happen and they go off to track down the shroud. On the way, Marcone and Harry talk, and Harry learns Marcone is just as confused about his attempted assassination as Harry is. Susan and Harry end up finding Anna Valmont, as well as the Denarians, and a fight ensues.
So the Marriott was the Marriott, which I guess we already determined when Susan told them they were going to, but didn't have to overthink it. Harry shows up looking not half bad. Like, he's as he says, he's like there's a reason the text
He's
is
got a
weather
cummerbund
essential.
on.
Yes. Well, he needed somewhere to wipe his fingers.
Very.
Catch the crumbs.
Yeah. Which, in all honesty, most of the time I prefer a vest to a cummerbund. But it can still be, again, as long as you don't-
Cummerbund is a level of formal that is like
as long as you don't
leaps and years ahead of me.
Yeah. I mean, partially I enjoy the aesthetic of the vest, but also exactly, like, as long as you don't have to live or move or do anything, the vest is so much easier, because the cummerbund is so easy to come untucked and unruffled.
Just makes me think of a high school band.
Yeah. Yeah. But yes, so Susan takes a little bitty cell phone that she can tuck away in her tiny little clutch, because, no major, no, what it is, not major. You don't want a big bulky handbag at a black tie event. And off they go. So he's not perfect. The shoes fit, but they're like a little wide. And I'm like, that's gotta be better than at least like the crammed in.
It's hard to run away though.
But I was
in
like,
loose shoes.
I was gonna say, it's like, you're lucky you're a dude, because it's a lot harder to keep on like a pair of pumps that are too wide than it is a pair of lace-up shoes. So once again, men have the advantage for clothing. They have pockets and their shoes lace up.
He looks like a really fancy Ronald McDonald.
If he was a redhead, that would be hilarious.
Ronald McDonald on prom night.
Da-da.
So Susan's whole ball game is like, we gotta be normal, okay? You can't go in there scowling. You can't go in there checking underneath all the tablecloths. Like, you gotta go in there.
You cannot be Kincaid right now.
You must be a normal man. Channel your inner Martin and have people not notice you by just being normal, okay?
Right, but be pleasant and friendly looking so that if you are noticed, you look like you want to be at this fancy event that we're at. Because most people have chosen to be here.
You might, want to give off the image that you are willing to talk to people because that is how you network and learn things.
You might get information that way. And Harry's like, what?
That's crazy. I've gone this far without being nice to anyone, and I'm not about to start.
Right? It's like, I have to do all of these things together? What?
At the same time, chew bubblegum and walk?
Not gonna happen. But yeah, again, it's... This whole timeline is just... And I mean, I don't know. We've already established timelines are weird to me anyways. They're just not a concept I understand in real life. But it's like, yeah, he's like, okay, let's get here, let's go. And Susan's like, dude, you can't just exactly start, you gotta come in and mingle and da-da-da-da-da before you start sneaking off and casing the joint. But at the same time, we've already established that this thing isn't starting till 9 o'clock, but then the auction is like 11, and I'm like, part of me is, again, yeah, you need so much time because you don't even know where to start looking. But at the same time, it's like, well, you've already set yourself up to have a spell to find it, so really you shouldn't need that much. I don't know. It's just, right. You have so much time and no time at all.
Annoying thing about a hotel room is it's so impersonal. Like, this could be happening literally anywhere. Like, do you've got conference rooms in here? Is it going to be in some shady supply closet? Is it going to be in one of the bedrooms? Is it, like, at least in
the
a
shroud,
home?
not the event.
Yeah, no.
Like, the event is not going to be
shroud, the actual drop of the illegal merchandise.
Yes,
is what I'm asking.
Yes,
because at least in someone's home, you can usually, discard off rooms pretty easily. Like, most things don't happen in the kitchen or whatever like that, right? Or, if it's a smaller house, you've only got 1 or 2 bedrooms or something like that,
Well, exactly.
Right?
I mean, again, unless you're some, like, palatial estate or whatever, the house, right, whereas exactly, you're at a really big hotel to start with. Mm-hmm. So there's God knows how many floors.
Going room to room isn't really a viable option.
Yeah, exactly, right, like, right there. And then, again, there's all the other out-of-the-way places, like you say, right? So, yeah, like I say, it's one of those things where it's like, it makes sense, and my brain just keeps, like, flipping back and forth. And
just
being
in
like,
the hot tub, all these gangsters just like...
Hey, man, you don't want anyone hiding a weapon.
Well, fair enough.
Everybody naked. So, what?
That's a different kind of party.
Well, I'm just saying, though.
So the room's already got a couple hundred people already.
With clothes.
This is with wearing clothes, yes. There's a couple hundred dressed people here. So this is a fairly big event, right? Like, we know that this is for pricey Chicagoans, right? And the press. Here to do this charity gala event, right?
Yeah.
And it's all very professional and white collar, and there's a band playing, and there's a dance floor, and
he says you've mostly got the muckety mucks from Chicago, as you would expect, because that's where. But he's like, he sees at least, I think, one movie star kind of a thing, So it's like that interesting mix of, again, right? You're like, oh yeah, this isn't like Edmonton, You're like, it's not that abnormal for like a really big muckety muck to be at this Chicago event, and again, just the nature of it and stuff like that.
If it's Edmonton,
right?
Nathan Fillion could show up. You never know.
He could, and we keep hoping.
waiting.
Yeah, my friend went to the same high school that he did. But anyways, point being is, yes, there is always a chance, but it's a lot less likely that they're just, gonna be there for it.
Well, it turns out Susan knows quite a number of people from her days in doing reporting. Like, she has no
Susan
problem
does her job.
Done.
Again, this interesting mix.
Show 'em how it's done.
She's a reporter, so I get she would have talked to lots of people. But again, it's remembering what news. So it's like, did she make some of these connections like prior to? Because we don't know that the Arcane is like the only place she's ever been, right? Like, she's fairly young, so she might not have had a lot of jobs prior to this. But it's also possible that she may have worked for some freelance or some other papers before she landed where she was too, right? So you're like, again, do you know all of these people from like your weird, nobody takes you seriously supernatural newspaper that you're mixing and mingling with all the elite of Chicago? Or
maybe she was moonlighting.
do you know some of this through like your
so
other
strange,
reporters?
like,
I'm a reporter, but I know the other important reporters that know people. Like, yeah,
In this world, the National Enquirer, that's like the fucking business to be.
right? It's like, I don't know how often they get invited to, state dinners and things.
Enough events
it's
that
like,
she's on a name basis with them.
Yeah,
I'm tired now.
although they don't necessarily all know her, I guess, again, it makes some sense that
She just knows who they are. I've been through their garbage looking for aliens so many times.
or exactly, right? Like, her job is to know who all the important people are.
She's attractive. She has like a press ID. They're just like, yeah, I don't care who you're.
Right.
Just come on in.
Right, it's all good. So, yeah. So she basically takes him around and does the whole mix and mingle, and Dresden's like, holy shit, I should have like gone to shit with Susan before. Who knew that a reporter would like know shit and
Crazy.
like having right, all this time of being like, no, Susan, it's okay, I got it. And
You go, Susan.
She solved half my case for me this afternoon. Like,
Funny what happens when you've got a partner, hey?
fuck, right?
Crazy.
Wow.
I do like, though, that he gets like a couple of flutes of champagne for him and Susan. He takes one sip and he's like, well, I've already had the beers. maybe I won't drink this.
Yeah. Like, one, I haven't really eaten anything, but he's like, I know I'm a lightweight.
Yeah.
He's like, which again is funny for his size. I mean, not that he's got a lot of bulk on him, but again, he's like, 2 beers and a sip of champagne, and that's my limit, folks.
That's all I
He's
can afford.
I don't want slow reflexes or any, which I was like, again, fair. This is not even just like...
You're not here at a party where you could potentially be assassinated just because that's your life. You actually are, like, with people who have attempted to assassinate you today.
You are going to jump into you're gonna...
Harry's life is so funny. Like, imagine somebody tries to, like, attempt to assassinate you. Like, you go hide in your home for a couple of weeks, months, maybe years. You're just so traumatized, right? And Harry's like, he doesn't get down the block anymore without getting attempted assassinated. He's always just like, what? Who?
Right.
He's just another Tuesday.
He's that, right? Harry's like, whenever he gets, like, a calm weekend now, then he's like, this is, he's like, he lives on such a level of, like, high alert now, he doesn't know how to operate on any other, it's like adrenaline junkie.
We said early on in this book, we were trying to figure out just how many hours of the day had really passed, right? And we were like, you were Larry Fowler saying you almost got assassinated there, and then there was, like, this bear thing, and then there was, like the blobbity blue, right? And it's like, we forget all of that because it's a whole new day and there's been like 7 new attempts now. Like,
yeah, right.
Like, it doesn't. We really should stop trying to figure out the timeline because it's like as soon as Harry goes to sleep, it's like reset. Everyone's gonna try to kill you again today. It doesn't even matter about yesterday.
No, this isn't. I don't know if this already exists out there. Maybe somebody can find it, but if not, hey, Discord or nerds that love to do stuff like this, somebody like take this weekend. We'll start small. Take book 5 and map out as accurately as you can. What okay,
His
so
medical
started
insurance?
on Friday. No. But let's build an actual, like, hour by hour timeline. So, so Friday morning he was in Larry Fowler, and then we're just gonna go through and fill in when all this shit happened, and by like again over the and see just how much crap he packed into like 2 days, 3 days, a week. What is it when we're done? Because I'm like, again, I know it all happens fairly quickly, but I was like, that would actually be really interesting for somebody to take this week and be like, oh yeah, shit. Because again, reading it takes you a while, and again, as we're talking about it week after week after week, so it would be very interesting to see. It was like literally every 5 minutes Harry had something happening. But he does. I like how he does though. He catches side of himself in the reflection, and he's like, damn, like I actually don't look half bad if I put on a smile, and like
kind of like the waitress this morning at breakfast.
The
giant mirror, and she just started talking to herself instead of us.
Yeah, the booth had a bit. Although, in all fairness, Jessica said she would too, and as we were leaving, she did basically watch herself in the mirror the whole way down. So
obviously,
yeah. So
if there's a mirror in a joint, I'ma watch it.
But yeah, so they mix and mingle a little bit. Harry's like, "Oh, I had a whole sip of champagne. Let me grab a sandwich." So I like how he's like, he didn't just wolf it down because it had like little toothpicks in it. And I was like, I could totally just see him do that. But yeah, this is where he makes a joke where she's like, dude, like, he's like, smile and chew. And she's like, keep your shirt clean. And he's like, oh, I was like,
Chew and smile at the same time. Do I look like Jackie Chan?
Right?
Now, I just have images of Jackie Chan eating with this maniacal smile. I mean, I've definitely seen movies where he drinks with a maniacal smile, but I don't know about the eating part.
I don't know. I'm sure it's there, though. I have to go back and watch any Jackie Chan movie eating. But, yeah, so while they're...
I love that he puts them in this, he's like, pockets of under them. He's
I
like,
know, so she's like, oh, by the way, someone's coming over. So yeah, is again, right, to do well and put it back on the plate. And I like how he doesn't even take him like a little napkin or a plate or whatever, but exactly, right? He's like, I'll just put it in my pocket. I can't shove it in my mouth, that'd be rude.
There goes your deposit.
Shove it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what kind of
so weird. He's so weird.
Like, I guess,
pull out
Harry.
a squished sandwich later, he's like, oh yeah!
And that really almost would have been like the coup de grace. Like, he almost could have. Like, this is one of those things where...
Like, those little triangle sandwiches do not stay together very well.
No, well, maybe he left a toothpick in this one.
Even still.
Maybe he hadn't yanked it yet.
Still,
but
those things, like,
I was going to say, the point is
small.
exactly. It's this teeny tiny sandwich with everything all cut off. Like, it's spilling everywhere. It's like,
he just gets pieces, like, what's this pickle doing? And
exactly,
like,
right?
Like, to his hand.
He's like a piece of ham, a piece of bread later,
He's got,
tomato.
like, goose liver spread all over the pocket, or he's got bits of, like, celery and stuff falling around in there. Like, I don't know. I want him to go to one of these things and have them have, like,
That's
little
a spell
tiny, like,
component for later.
peanut butter and jelly finger sandwiches or something.
Pretentious sandwiches. What spell does that go into?
Right.
That's gotta be
I'm
like
sure there's-
gentleman Johnny Marcone's like number one idea is like, all right, what's like food that's difficult for a wizard? How to get Cheeto dust all over his finger without ruining the spell?
Just a PB&J.
Try sneak up on me now.
I can't. I trying to enunciate with the peanut butter stuck to the roof of my mouth.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Frick, what is that? Oh, that was from book 4 when he meets up with Fix and them at the back of the thing, and he's he's hexing us.
That's a great one.
But yeah, like that would totally be Harry just trying to like work a spell. That's where you learn nonverbals. So yes, you got people dancing. So
Marcone arrives.
Marcone arrives. So
I love that, like, when he first comes up to him, he's like, Mr. Dresden, he says, and Miss Rodriguez, I believe, I didn't realize you were an art collector. I am the foremost collector of velvet elvi in the city of Chicago. I said it once.
Elvi?
Marcone inquired. The plural could be Elvises, I guess. I said, but if I say that too often, I start muttering to myself and calling things my precious. So I usually go with the Latin plural.
Elvis is getting a lot of screen time.
Jim Butcher was in a phase.
Right? He's like, Thomas looks like Elvis. Shiro became Baptist
Elvis
because of
fan.
Elvis. Are you here to collect Elvis?
It's clearly Shiro and Thomas's who put it in his brain earlier tonight.
Obviously, you're right. That must have been what he. Yeah.
Well, I like that even Marcone smiles at that one, like, cheeky.
Yeah, it was just kind
I
of
know
like
somebody that used to have one of those, like, velvet.
Well, I was gonna say that is the funny thing too, because that is like one of the things most of us when you think of those velvet picture thingies, you know, I was like 9 times out of 10 it is that, you know, I'm like
Sitting right next to the velvet Christ.
yeah, oh yeah, I guess that would be I was just gonna say I was like, what would be like the runner-up,
Or those
yeah.
reflective paintings.
We've all made those mistakes, just ask Shiro.
Right. I just remember, you know what? Me and my sister had a bunch of the ones, the coloring ones. Where did you ever have those? Where it was like the velvet, but then you just colored
Scratch
in
it out or something?
No, not the scratch art. It was literally just they were
Marker
usually
velvet.
marker. It was literally like usually like a poster size thing, and exactly all your background and whatever had that velvety stuff, and then you just colored the poster yourself like an ordinary coloring book. But then you had this fancy. Usually came with like the little. But yeah, I remember we had a few of those.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever called it fancy, but anyways.
Right.
When you're 6 and you're
fancy in some circles.
When you're 6 and you're making a velvet painting that apparently people will go to a $5,000 plate gala to collect, sure is fancy.
Yeah, that's exactly what they mean.
Anyways.
So, as Marcone's like, oh, well, I hope you can find something for your tastes, right? And Harry's like, oh, I'm easy. Any old rag will do. And boom, Marcone's instantly on, like, okay.
Shouldn't he have gone with at least a little bit of subtlety on that? Instead
I don't
of
know,
just-
Harry's
he
trying
sort of
to
just
figure
plays
out-
his hand right there.
Harry, he was like, I don't know who the original buyer is. He's like, the gunman tried to take me out earlier, so I'm
Before I
pretty
was even
sure
hired for it, yeah.
Marcone is involved in this, but I don't actually know who's buying this. I know the Denarians are trying to steal it. I know the church mice are the ones trying to sell it, but I actually still don't know who the actual buyer is. I know the interceptors, but not the buyer,
Exactly, right? It's like, presumably it's not the Denarians, or they would just get it on the drop-off, so
Yeah.
they're trying to steal it out from under whatever,
So he is
right?
trying to, like, you know, as loose as he can, be like, feel this out, and so, yeah, it's instantaneous.
It is, and I mean, it's
Okay.
one of those tactics, right? It's sometimes you play really subtle and close to the vest. Sometimes you say it to their face to get the reaction, right? You know, and it's like, that's basically it. Is he's trying? You know, he doesn't really know. He doesn't really have a lot of time because
Trying to get a tell.
Yeah. Basically, he's like,
until he
all
does,
right, like.
because Marcone instantly is like, back the fuck down, and Harry's like, can't do that. Do you let's make this easy, man. And Marcone is all like, bad things are gonna happen to you tonight.
Yeah. I'd advise exercising some caution, dude. I am nothing but cautious.
Don't try me in public, Dresden.
Yeah.
Which is
kind of a great line there.
Huge thing between the two already, because Dresden has disrespected Marcone in front of people many, many times all the way, and presumably walked away scot-free from it, right? And Marcone's got a
Other than the fact that
reputation to keep up.
maybe be taking pot shots at him in garages.
Well, but thus far is like Harry's basically gotten away with just spitting on Marcone and being like, I don't fucking listen to the mob, I don't give a shit, and you can't do anything about
Well,
it.
and it's half intentional and half not, because again, Marcone by day is just your mild-mannered businessman, and by night he's your shady drug dealer guy. So while he operates in the light, he also doesn't, right? Things are sort of private and low-key and on the down. And Harry keeps, right? Like, the first time, like, he tries to quietly intercept Harry at the Madison. Harry comes fucking booking it out of that thing. They have to chase him halfway down 6 blocks. So right then, all of a sudden, this isn't as subtle and as, I just ran, you know what I mean? And then, like, in Full Moon, again, or even later in that book, he blows the doors off the Varsity. Well, that was obviously very public and very, it wasn't even just Marconi's hideout. It was just a nightclub with randos and whatever, right? And then in Full Moon, again, right? Marcone's all like, Harry, let's talk business. I'd just like to contract you. And Harry's like, let me introduce you to a whole bunch of lycanthropes, and we're going to blow up a garage, and then we're going to invade your... you know what I mean? Like, none of it, so part of it is just Harry being like, I don't give a shit.
Everywhere I go, something
off.
Explodes. That's not your fault. That's on me.
That's right. But it's, sometimes it is Harry very intentionally being like, fuck you, Marcone. Hey, everybody, see, I'm talking to Marcone. Hey.
Yeah, that's far.
And other times, it's simply just Marcone shows up and Harry's like, I'm in the middle of running around and people are shooting at me, so guess what? This is the private moment. Like,
thus far, Harry and Marcone have not either one gone up against the other directly. It just so happened to be that
interfering.
They both keep falling into each other's paths, and that keeps being a problem. But he did save Marcone's life, which is probably why Marcone hasn't killed him yet.
Yeah, and, Harry has said it straight up himself, too. Like, again, we don't really get Marcone's, but he's like, one of these days we're going to, but right now we're not. Marcone's got his shit, I've got my shit. We know a lot about each other, but we don't know enough about each other to, right? Again, like, this is like Ortega, right? Shiro's like, he's making this play now because he feels like this is his best time and opportunity. Ortega has an advantage and you don't, so he's making a play, right? And both Marcone and Harry neither one of them feel like they've got that advantage yet, so neither one of them want to kick it off.
Yeah, I guess they're still kind of feeling each other out.
Yeah, right? Like, they've done the soul gaze, they have a measure for each other, but exactly, right? Harry doesn't, so yeah, they're still biding their time. They're still watching game film. They're not ready to make their... But again, Marcone is like, if you keep pushing and keep making things very blunt and very obvious, he's like, I will have no... Like, yeah, you kind of got to pass on the other ones because they weren't entirely intentional and you didn't really know what was going on. But now, if you're going to come in once again into my thing and embarrass me and show me up and do whatever, he's like, I cannot let people see you confronting me because that's not how bullies hold power.
Well, yeah, and it's not even that. It's
like,
just that he was confronted, that Marcone made the mistake of responding to it. So he's probably more pissed about that, where he's like...
Well, that too, but just, I'm just referring more to his line.
I'm just throwing rocks at your window. It's another if you open the window and yell at them, and everyone knows that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just talking more about the lawn where he's like, don't try me in public. He's like, you can't afford to do it, and I can't afford to let you. So it's just like, again, like, above all else, Marcone's like, I have to keep up appearances, you know what I mean? He's like, I cannot let for once, you might be a big, scary, powerful wizard, and I don't know, but he's like, I cannot for 1 second let you be seen justifying me, because then everybody's going to start pushing the envelope,
and this
testing
is my
the boundaries,
right now, like,
and it all, he's like, I'm not going to give up 1 ounce of control. He's like, I will not loosen the reins and let anything. But yeah, but before that, I do like the line where he's like, he's like this similar, and he's like, in deference to your limitations, I almost would. He's like, but I have no idea what you're talking about. So that's when Harry's like, your hitter taking a shot at us, and that's, he's like, the other two, he's like, Marcone blinked. He's like, oh my god, I shocked the fuck out of him.
Yeah, right?
It's like, I love how this is Marcone's big tell. He's like, what?
And that's strange, because why were they there if not because of Marcone? Harry said that they were, like, heavy professionals. Like, they had the fucking money to have the gear,
the fancy silencers, the execution of it. And this is the other thing, how we know, and you can't just, you assume it's not just like a Lawrence situation, as the first book, where he was double-crossing and playing. You're like, you saw Hendrix we know Hendrix is his right-hand man. Chances are, at this point, Hendrix is not double-crossing him. So if Hendrix was there, Marcone had to know what was going on. You had to.
What would be going on?
Why are you surprised by this? So it's a very big sort of wrench for all of us going, what?
Yeah.
Right? So Marcone is confused, and now Harry and us are confused that Marcone is confused, and we're like...
It's fully like Harry thinks that Marcone sent a hitter out for him, and now
and
Marcone's
he's like, dude, I wasn't even doing anything
and
yet.
now Marcone's being a dick, and he's like, you fucking started it. Don't come telling me that I'm, like, butting in. Like, you came and shot at me before I even had this case. And Marcone's like, the fuck I did. Like, get out. Yeah, it is. It's totally confusing and weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Hendrix arrives and he's got a date with him.
Right.
A gorgeous, long, blonde, leggy Nordic babe. What'd you call her? Nordic angel. I was going to say. Yeah, I was going to say, doesn't call her a babe, but yeah. Hello, Miss Gar. And she's not taking shit either. Susan's like, oh, I don't think we've been introduced. And she's like, no, obviously not. And Susan's like, excuse me, right? Trying to play the polite protocols and customs. And Gar's just like, fuck, of course we haven't been introduced. Susan's like, wow, excuse me, bitch. It's like,
so pretty quickly we find out that this is probably the lady who fucked up Bob earlier.
Yeah.
Right. We find out that she's from the Monarch Foundation. Mm-hmm. Like, do you guys know? Like, I tried to look this up, but Google unfortunately failed me. God damn it, Google. Like, is this an actual reference to anything? Like, any ideas?
Not yet. It isn't.
Like the actual name. Like,
so
okay.
Yeah. So
it makes more sense when you find out who's in charge of the organization.
Yeah, I was going to say
it is a little bit of play on word.
Yeah, but yeah, in this immediate moment, no, we just know that he's hired a security company, and they're not just your regular security company. Apparently, they know a little bit about magic stuff, because, she makes a very pointed yet veiled comment about
guarding against
spirits.
Thieves, spies, and poor wandering spirits.
Yeah.
Interesting last set of words.
Yeah, so I guess now we know where Marcone learned about wards and how he managed to scramble Bob's
brains.
Started
to dip his toe into the other side of things.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you can't have Dresden, then he's...
Well, and exactly, right? He's like, well, if he's not on my team, I gotta, prepare against you and everything like that. So he's like, oh shit, Marcone's like actually concerned about, I'm not just like some annoying, like, again, Marcone is not a dummy. And much as, like he just made an insult about Dresden's intelligence, and he's like, you're a big child and you're a boob, but he's an effective boob. And, even a boob with a big stick or a big gun can cause problems, right? So, yeah, Marcone is like, just in case, I'm gonna make sure. So, so he's like, Marcone's taking steps and getting ready to, like, fight me. And then Harry's like, oh, shit. Now it's, again, right, it's not just, like, a couple of accidental crossing paths. Now I actually have to start preparing. Like, I actually have to keep you in mind.'re not just going to be a background thing. I actually have to start fucking dealing with you because at some point you're going to, no, let's not go that far.
So Marcone does ditch him then to go continue his rounds, which is a little surprising that he just, for now, leaves Harry to do whatever
Again,
he wants.
it's a power move, though, too, right? That's Marcone, too.
Still,
you just ruffled me and found shit out. I don't care. I can just walk away.
You could have Harry escorted out, too, but he's just like...
Again, it would make a scene, right? He's got no reason for it, so...
What was the Kissinger... Sorry, I have a note about Kissinger, but what was the quote from the book?
Oh, me
Such
and Kissinger.
diplomacy.
Yeah, me and Kissinger.
Kissinger, American political scientist, advisor of national security affairs. Mm-hmm. Great quote from the New Yorker. Henry Kissinger is one of the worst people to ever be a force for good.
So, yeah, he's always like, I don't like this. And she's like, why not? And he's like, because he's getting all this set up. And so Susan's like, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, well, do you think he's... Because, again, right, if he's getting in on the magical front and starting, then, again... We don't know that anybody's really after this for religious purposes. So far, things that have gotten involved, it seems like it might be more for the magical potential of this item, right? So she's like, do you think Marcone might be the buyer? And he's like, it's starting to make more sense. Part of the reason of setting it up here is because it's sort of Marcone's setting, it would give him a good way to do the buy as opposed to just like a random person deciding, let's go to this event kind of a thing. It's like Marcone's setting it up, he's got access to the building and the staff and the hotel and the procedures and you know what I mean, like all that inside information, so I was like, he's like...
It's curious though, like why even do it when the rest of the gala is happening? Why not make it just a thing between you and your people where there cannot be invitations into the place? Like, had you just invited Anna Valmont onto your property,
Anna Valmont would have said, fuck you, I'm not going to walk out of there alive. Let's make it somewhere public. So this, I think, is a big part of it. It's not... Yeah, Marcone probably would have been more than happy to just have her discreetly, but I think this is where Anna / the church mice, whatever, this is their protection. I'm not going into a dark alley with a mobster.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that there's a place where I can scope out an exit strategy and I can be surrounded by other, and I can, and I think that's mostly where that comes in, is that, sure, Marcone might set it up a number of different ways, but the other side of it is, and not that Marcone double crosses just for the sake of double crossing, because as Marcone is fond of saying, that's bad for business. However, if the opportunity or the this or that, right? So, I mean, yeah, she might very well, but again, with everything else going on, that, it's just, the way the game is played. Mm-hmm. And obviously, the church mice have done this before, so this is their sort of MO. They're like, yeah. So I think that's where I'm going to pop your bubble on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi there, folks. We want to say thank you for participating in the drawing for our 100th episode. I want to say a quick congratulations to our winners. Our Twitter winner is Bunlin, our Instagram winner is Big Dang Moose, and our Discord winner is Hey Reb, who have won a limited edition 100th episode mug. Congratulations! Another congratulations goes out to our Patreon winner Heather, who has won a one-of-a-kind 100th episode hooded sweater. Congratulations! It's been an absolute blast, and we are so thankful for all of you. We're looking forward to another 100 episodes.
So it looks like he has startled Marcone at least enough into action, because Marcone, does a couple of rounds, and then instantly he's on the phone, and he's like, okay, like, things are happening, things are mobilizing, can't hear what Marcone's saying, but come on, Susan, we gotta get going.
So, this time frame, like, remember, like, phones were, like, getting smaller and smaller before smartphones were, like, gaining popularity?
2003.
So, just makes me think of Zoolander, where they've got these, like, microphones. Gotcha. They started making fun of that. So, for whatever reason, whenever I read that passage, I just think of, like, that little tiny Zoolander phone.
Little,
like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's called discreet, okay?
I do not have a frame of reference for that.
Oh, it's like...
You haven't seen Zoolander?
On it, right?
I have not seen Zoolander.
I can't
You're missing out.
turn left.
I don't know that I am, but I'm willing to take your word.
You should watch it. It's pretty good.
It's pretty funny.
It makes fun of the world of male models.
I am familiar with Ben Stiller and the whole. I just have not actually watched it, but anyways, I know I just keep thinking of like the little flip phony thingies or
Gotta
whatever.
find that for one of the Monday.
Movie watch,
The little mini Firefly baby phone that I got the girls when they were little. Those were the ones they came out with that only had like 4 buttons. It had a button you could like program for mom and like a button you could program for whatever, but essentially it was like mom and dad, and then it had like police and
Right.
I don't know, because police and ambulance and stuff would all be the same one, but I feel like there was 4. But basically that was it. You could just program. So your kid could not accidentally call China. All they could call was this button or that button, and it auto dialed. But it was like the little tiny, again, same thing, because it had like no buttons or much of a screen or anything. They were little teeny tiny phones. But I like this too. Like, I'm like, okay, again, makes sense for the plot and all that kind of stuff. But I love how, exactly, like, he talks to a couple people and then makes a phone call, and Harry's like, oh, he's doing something. I'm like, he's running a whole fucking organization. He's got a million projects on the go. Plus, he's organizing this whole gala here tonight. Like, maybe they're out of fish sticks. I don't know.
More appetizers, right? And Harry's like, this is it. It's happening.
Right?
But what ensues is a really cool scene that would be very fun to watch, whether animated or live action, is Harry and Susan dancing and waltzing across this ballroom.
Battleground ballroom.
Yeah, right.
It's a ball ground.
As they try to avoid
a big giant ball pit, but like
that would be even more fun to see them trying to dance across that. I'm pretty sure that's like a Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers things, right? Kicking balloons out of the way as you like waltz across, right?
Yeah. Right.
So the security is now trying to come and stop Harry and Susan. Harry and Susan are trying to get around. Security's been told not to cause a scene because this is still an event high class.
So this is the funny thing, because I was just arguing, right? You're like, he can't just kick him out, and I'm like, well, he's got no reason to, and yet he's pretty much exactly. So he's like, you can't just have him taken out, but he's gonna try and hurt him out anyway. So I'm like, I don't know, we're both right on that point.
As subtle as
like,
he can.
I can't really kick you out, but I'm also gonna try and just kick you out.
But the issue is that it's very easy to avoid subtle, especially when you're Harry Dresden. You've got no problem. Just like, if they don't come right out and say it, you'll be like, I don't understand what the problem is, officer.
Yeah, exactly. But again, Harry being Harry also can't just like blend into a corner and disappear in the crowd because, everybody else is around his kneecaps.
Very nice dance scene between the two of them as they make their way across the room.
Susan is she's like, you told me you couldn't dance.
I like that he learned how to perfected dancing with old people.
Little ladies. I know, and I relate very much. This is like me. I'm like, no, I can't nightclub dance either, and I have no desire to, but I'm like, yes, I can do not that I can, but I can do a slow dance or whatever. I'm like, yes, if there are proper steps that you can learn and follow, that I can do. And I just love that Harry's the same way. He's like, I don't get out there and flail and do, no, but he's like, yeah. And he's like, one of my odd jobs when I got here was they would pay you to be a dance partner for little ladies that didn't have one. So he's like, I know how to ballroom dance. It reminds me just slightly of the Dirty Dancing thing too, where Patrick Swayze's character is all like, oh, it's like the Arthur Miller School of Dancing, and I just we had nothing better to do, and but yeah, it's very, very, very sweet. And again, because you can imagine literally the little old ladies, because they shrink. Yeah, so it's every one of those must have been like the daddy-daughter dance where the toddler is on daddy's
facing his navel.
Yeah, can you just imagine these little old ladies just hugging him around or I don't even know. It's adorable and it's very sweet, and it's probably would be lovely to see them.
Right.
And then the other side of it simply is that they are now trying to dance away and avoid people.
Well, and it sounds like they've got really great chemistry in this moment too, where it just works for them.
Love Harry and Susan.
Well, they do, right? And again, it's
See, this is a Bond moment if ever, really.
This is very Bond.
This is
totally Bond. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Put on a tux and instantly
hit the dance.
So they make their way around the room in it, but it's taking several laps to get where they want to go, and because there just keeps being problems everywhere they want to end up, right? So eventually Harry's like, all right, distraction time. You get in contact with Martin, okay?
Yeah. And I love how he's the bodyguard's just a dumbass too. Because he's supposed to blend in, but he's just flashing his gun around and he's like, oh, Marcone's gonna have your balls, dude.
Yeah, you're done.
Do you know who you're working for? This is not the parking garage stuff. This is, you're supposed to be being subtle and blending in.
Marcone cares about image number one.
Yeah. And you're just I got it, boy. Yeah.
No.
Seriously. So Susan's all of a sudden aha, I also have a teeny tiny Zoolander phone. And Harry clenches his butt cheeks and holds his breath so as not to zap the Zoolander phone as she uses it right next to him, But she manages he manages to hold it for 30 seconds or something so she can get this call in and
2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, just give her a hold.
So spin once, spin twice, and crash, boom, bang.
I love how dramatic, you don't expect it from
these
Martin.
supernatural guys don't give a fuck. Every one of them makes an entrance every time.
Right? So do we have a signal or anything? She's I don't know, I think we wait for something distracting to happen. Like what? The sudden shriek of breaking tires cut through the band music. There's a loud crunch and the sound of plate glass breaking along with shrieks from the hotel lobby. Yeah. So what were you saying about the pub we went to today and they've had cars drive through it 3 times?
Right.
The Marriott knows how you feel. So I guess there's their distraction. Yeah. It's kind of funny because I think he said,
That's pretty funny. We got there. We're like, where do we want to sit? Not one of us was not in front of the windows. Didn't even occur to us.
Although no, it did because I did defer to Tanzan and I was like, which way? And she was like, oh, I like sitting over here. And she did choose the ones on the interior wall and not along the front window.
It didn't not.
So you were behind.
I was aware that the store had been. The cars have gone into that wall 3 times, and I did not think let's not sit over there.
Yeah, I was like, where should we sit? Like I said, we're all like the red shirts.
Yeah, totally.
This is why we are not Harry Dresden. Watch the exit. I plant myself in front of the fatal impact point.
It's not like a car's gonna come through it a 4th time.
Right? Come on.
So thankfully, Martin's distraction works, and they're able to make their quick escape.
Well, and it's kind of dumb, too, because not only is it just, because you kind of envision, because he's like, we kind of swim upstream, right? So everybody's rushing to see what's going on or to get away, and they're going, and I like that the security guard isn't even necessarily blocked just because they were on, like, opposite sides of the dance floor, and now he's caught. No, the security guard's like, I'm gonna go see what the fuck is going on, too. Doesn't give a shit about Harry that he's supposed to be, getting rid of.
This is way more interesting. A car just came in through the wall.
Yeah, exactly. He totally forgets about him, too, so it's not even like...
We've already established he's a bad employee.
Not a terribly intelligent.
No, he's
wherever Marcone got this guy.
I don't think you're advancing far in this agency.
No.
You're not going to be in Hendrix's spot anytime soon. So off they go. So they go find a little quiet. So he checks. I love it. Just let's look at the emergency exits. Where's the? I love it. He has to stop and check the map on the wall for like you are here. Where do we? If you were a shroud, Susan, where would you be hiding? So they go in a little off out of the way spot. And he goes to draw a circle, and he pulls out a marker, and Susan's like,
I love that.
Is that a magic marker?
Is that a permanent marker? Susan asks. Thus do I strike a blow for anarchy whenever the mood takes me.
Like, he's such a little...
Total loser.
Total. I'm like, but now the Mary's gonna... So it's like, first of all, they're gonna have all this shit where it's like this car, and then like hours or a day later, whatever, the cleaning crew's gonna be coming on and be like, what the fuck's your circle in the middle of the hallway be? And like, what the...
And why?
Why? Why is there just this almost perfect circle? Because Harry does them like perfect now because that's most efficient, and he's had so much practice. Like, who just fucking...
I'm sure they've seen weirder. It's hotels.
No, I'm sure, but that's what makes it. If he'd drawn like a pentacle or a pentagram or something in the middle of it, they might have even been like, "Oh, some dumb."
But a perfect circle is weird.
Just a circle that has nothing else on it, around it to do. Yeah, I'm like, whatever. But yes, Harry's like, ha 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 ha, and then he pulls a plastic duck out.
I love this. You can chance a wind-up duck. I mean, this is really lovely. Like, I just love that you can take this like sort of semi-serious moment and then break it up with like tracking a rubber duck.
Right? This is why I fucking love this
quacks.
shit.
It quacks. Thank you, Butcher. Like, this is the details which I'm so endeared to.
Yeah, but I love how even he prefaces it, right? Because he's like, I take out the sample, I take out my rubber duck. He's like, which isn't as goofy as it sounds. Stay with me.
Attach the thread to the duck with a rubber band because the thread isn't even long enough to attach
tie it around.
Itself.
Yeah. Which, in all honesty, is safer because really, with a plastic curved thing, that thing's sliding off anyways. So, but so pops it and does his little tracking spell with it, and even Susan is like, "Why are we?" He's like, "Just wait, check it out." So it kind of moves around the circle and then stops. He's like, good to go, breaks the circle, and then all of a sudden it's do, and it starts heading off down the hallway. Or so I'm like, this is...
Duck does his job.
Yeah, because in book 1 or 2 or whatever, where we saw him with the, it's like, yeah, you got to do the little, or book 4, I guess, with his little compassy thingy and the chip off the race. So he's basically got it. I'm like, no, this is perfect. You can just... go, I will follow. He's like, doesn't have to think about, I was like, this, and again, it is just like the key. So here you've got Susan, who's kicked off her shoes, so she's now barefoot in her ball gown, Dresden in a tux, following a duck down a hall while everybody else is, and then it's funny because he goes, so he's like, we just have to check, and she's like, does the duck know about stairs? He's like, yeah, more or less. And he's like, we basically just have to check them at intersections. So I guess, that is fair, because I guess obviously you're in a hallway, there's only one way to go. So he's like, doesn't follow it the whole way. He's just gonna stick it in his pocket in between. But yeah, every time they get where they can turn a corner, then he sees if the duck is, and basically. So again, this is where I'm like, so you did say you had to be within a couple 100 feet or whatever it was. Again, I don't know really the area of a hotel to know how much ground you're covering in a building like that. But I'm like, you got there at 9 o'clock. The auction started at 11, and you were worried about having time to look for things because you're like, the drop is at 11:45. Because she says, no, let's mix and mingle first. And he's like, this doesn't leave us a lot of time to find it. And I'm like, but you did bring your... I'm like, I guess you don't know for sure that the tracking spell was going to work. But, but you're like, basically, you're like, you're walking yourself right to it. Why did you need 3 hours?
I just realized this duck's probably covered in sandwich.
All right.
That's why he shoved it. He's like, here, little buddy, have a snack.
Yeah.
You're going to be working
Keep your energy up.
Yeah. I got a lot of work for you to do in a bit here. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Okay, so off they go. So they're waddling down the stairs, and
They follow the duck to a laundry room.
yes, big laundry room.
Employees only.
So yeah, they duck in, and I love how he does the whole like, I'm not going to close the door so it doesn't click. But yeah, they see Hendricks and Guard going by, so maybe that means something, maybe it doesn't, or they're in the right spot, or they not, I don't know. This took me a minute. I thought this was like a total like goof up for a minute, because they go in or whatever. And it's kind of funny too, because he's like, oh, hey, they were hiding in the laundry. And she's like, are they usually so predictable? He's like, I don't know, hang on. But he like puts the duck on the floor.
I mean, he did find the shroud in the laundry one time already.
Yeah. But it was like, I thought this was like a screw up, because he said he puts the duck down, and the duck walks around on the floor. And then she says something else to him, and he's like, I put the duck down on the counter. And I was like, you just put the duck down on the floor. But I was like, oh, no, it's not a goof up. He like picked it up and then put it on the counter. I was like, oh, like, wait, I'm so confused right now.
How dare you?
I was like, wait, but yeah. So like another reference here. So you find their way to a vent or whatever, right? And she's all like, oh, don't crawl in the scary vent. He's like, dude, I've seen Alien. I'm fine. I know I gotta watch my back. So anyway, so he goes down the thing, and lo and behold, finds Anna Valmont in a broom closet, talking on the two-way radio. So things are changing, and Marcone doesn't like this. And she's like, well, shit keeps happening, so yes, I'm going to keep changing it. So she's not pulling right. She's like, right now...
First of all, 2 of my guys have died in this.
Yeah.
Like, we were a 3-person team only. It's not like I came from a big organization.
Yeah.
There was only 3 of us, and now there's me.
Yeah, and one of them I heard died in a horribly violent, disgusting way. The other one I saw died in a horribly disgusting, violent way. So...
This job is, kind of not worth it anymore, so pay the fuck up.
Yeah, basically, she's like, I don't give a fuck what you want anymore. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. She's like, I'm gonna just get whatever the fuck I want out of this. Like, you have no cards to play here. She's like, I don't give a shit about walking away. I'll sell it to someone else, whatever. And so, yeah. So, which again, dealing with Marcone, like, there's no indication that she's dealt with him before, but again, they're not newbies on the block. They're good at what they do, so she's got to know about his whole reputation, So the fact that she's willing to be like, fuck you, Marcone, I don't care, like, those take some balls. Like, yeah, she's just like... So he tries to stall, and she's like, do you think I'm an idiot? She's like, don't fucking try me. Like, I am at my end here.
Yeah, this is
like,
the fuck. I want out of this shit immediately.
I will, yeah.
So she's basically extorting him for more money.
Yeah, because she gets so pissed, because she's like, I can't do this, and she's like, just throw another $1 million for telling me how to do my job.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like you, Anna.
Yeah, she's pretty fucking awesome. No, it's just that Harry determines that Anna has come into the building through the air shafts, right?
Yes, so she's making her way around to stay unnoticed and out of...
She's doing her best. She wants to be in and out. Here's your fucking shroud. Give me my fucking money and I'm goddamn gone, right? And she's not even telling Marcone to come and meet her. She's like, I will hide it in the building, and I will tell you where to go find it in the building, okay? Like, I don't even want to see you. I'm getting the fuck out.
I was going to say, you're like, why doesn't Marcone just have her come? And she's like, not only am I not meeting you in this public place, or like in your place, I'm going to meet you at a public place, and even there, I am not going to get within 10 feet of you.
She's a smart chick.
Like, yeah, she's like, I am so over this insanity. So yeah, so I like how he's still, just to make sure, he puts the duck down to make sure that that she hasn't stashed it somewhere else. Okay, it's still with you right now, though, right, Anna?
Just to make sure.
But yeah, so listens to all this, again, without blowing out her radio. Thankfully, it's just a radio, not a cell phone, so, lesser technology. And so, yeah, he's gonna, like, sneak it and grab it, and then she's all like, and just to make sure you don't double-cross me, Marcone, I'm gonna have a little transmitter on it, and I'm gonna blow it up if you don't, so you're not gonna get it until I'm far away from here. And then I will tell you where it is, and we'll disarm it. And Harry's like, ooh,
never mind.
Yeah, reaching.
Total Mission Impossible scene. You're like, no. Susan, pull me up.
Yeah. So fuck, he's all like, well, this is great. While she's busy and distracted, I'm just gonna yoink it and go. And then he's like, fuck.
So as he's watching her freak out, you find out that Marcone has paid this bill. And we don't know even what it was to begin with, but presumably.
But yeah, she goes, fuck me, he actually did. Yeah, she's
not expecting it either.
She's like, well, I'll be damned.
I should start asking for an extra million thrown on top all the time.
No kidding, right?
Right? So now he's like, well, shit, now I gotta move, right? So he's like, now you're out of time. So I love it. So he, puts a weapon to her back and is like, don't move. And she's like, fuck, again. But she's like worried now. She's like, okay, dude, like, I get it. But she's like, you cannot screw me over at this point. Like, Marcone's gonna kill me. Like, if I don't get him the goods after just bitching him out, changing things a million times, and telling him I was gonna blow it up. If it's not here, you're handing a death sentence to me. Like,
right, she's in a very bad spot.
Yeah,
right
she's like, he's gonna come after me. Like, fucking, what the fuck are you doing? I can't. Right? And then she's even more disappointed when she finds out he was, like, holding her up with a duck. And she's like, really? And he's like,
You took my jacket. That's where I keep my gun.
yeah, right? Like, what do you want me to do? What can I fit in this thing?
I was fairly certain you would shoot.
gotta
That
get
goes
that
a step beyond ridiculous.
Yeah. So
Gotta get that concealed carry permit, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry.
And it's funny because she basically pulls his thing on him because at the boat where she's like, hand over the thing, and he's like, he just holds it out to her and he's like, oh, let me see if she'll come grab it. It'll show she's maybe not experienced and she's like, I'm not getting within reach of you. Put it on the counter. So here they are, and Harry's like holding her up with a duck to start, and then she's like, where's the transmitter? And he's like, where's the transmitter? And she's like, it's in my pocket. So what does Harry do? Gets in close to reach into her pocket.
And
so she can, she's like,
he's
wow,
done.
Harry.
It's always the women. He's just so stupid about it.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Let me see if she's clever or not, but let me not, guard
So then
against anything.
she's aiming the gun at him, and he's like, come on, we both know you're not gonna, ow!
Yeah.
Fucking shot him in the leg.
Right. Well, thankfully she didn't. She shot very close, and a chip of concrete gets. But yeah. Because I was gonna say otherwise it was a damn good shot. Because I thought she grazed him or whatever at first too. But it was sort of a little bit lucky that he actually got some injury out of it. And she's like, I was just trying to scare you, but that's just for bonus. But yeah. So then she's like, so what the fuck? He's like, okay, well, there's other big scary stuff. And she's like, yeah. So back at the boat, he's like, yeah, that was a demon. She's like, a demon. Yeah, a demon. Like a real, like, yeah. So, and she sort of, like, again, kind of takes it in stride in a way. Because she's like, okay, well, I don't really have time to otherwise deal with this or dispute this. And it was pretty fucked up, right? So again,
I suppose you're an angel. Hell no.
Yeah. They're demons, so you're an angel, right? Yeah. But then basically, again, right, she's like, goes on the, protect, defend, whatever. She's just like, whatever. They've already killed my friends. Like, they can't hurt me anymore. There's nothing else they can do to me.
Well, actually.
Yeah.
You don't know the half of it. Death is the nice thing.
Yes, that would be. And then, sure enough, door blasts off. We've got crazy demon hair lady. We've got Snake Man and just some random dude who's just standing there in a suit who just apparently is, terrifying and nauseating in his own way just for being that. And again, fabulous bad guy entry, right? It's like, cannot hurt you anymore, said the central shape in a quietly amused male voice. No matter how many times I hear that one, it's always a fresh challenge.
Wah. Wah.
Wah.
Alrighty.
So once again, so close and yet so far away.
And congratulations to all of our winners. Thank you so much.
Yes, it was exciting. I hope you enjoy your things. Don't know when they'll be sent out or how long it will take.
Yeah, we'll send them out right away. We don't know what shipping is like in the world.
Yeah.
It could take a little bit for shipping. We'll see.
Who knows?
We'll find
But
out.
thanks. Love y'all.
Yes, indeed.
This is our episode 10.17, Duck Hunt. Thank you for listening. You can find us online at freeflowrambling.com and McAnallys.ca. There we have links to our other podcasts, social media, and other fun tidbits. Please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, and please consider supporting us through Patreon to keep the magic alive and to see more content. We are Free Flow Rambling. Conjure by it at your own risk.